Here we go. Record. Sweet. All right. You guys are here because you want to get better at your real estate career, right? And so today I want to talk to you about the number one thing that's preventing people, realtors specifically, from attaining success in their real estate career that they want. And now I want to start with a warning. I'm not going to sugarcoat this discussion, and it may leave a few of you feeling somewhat uncomfortable. But to be honest, that's what I actually want to do for today. And before we get started, though, I want to make sure you're in the right place, as I don't want to waste your time. And my first question to you is this: as a realtor, is your life easy, lucrative, and fun? Like, are you getting all the leads you could ever want and earning all the commissions you could ever desire? Do you have all the time and financial freedom you could dream of? And type that into the chat box. Is that happening for you? Is your life easy, lucrative, and fun? If it is, awesome. Type in yes. If it's not, type in, gosh, it's just not there right now. And if you answered yes to this, then you're in the wrong place. Like, you don't need my help. You just need to kind of get back to doing what you're doing, right? But if you answered no, then the next question is, do you really want that dream lifestyle? And type yes in the chat box if it's like, yes, I do want that dream lifestyle. I want that easy, lucrative, and fun way of doing life. And I know that kind of seems like maybe a silly question, but there are people out there who prefer, instead of to like solve their problems, they just want to kind of make excuses, or they just kind of want to, I call it BMW Corporation, which is like bitch, moan, whine, and complain. But if you answered yes, then I need you to commit to that yes. So type in yes if you're really willing to commit to this change that's going to be necessary. And if you're not willing to commit, then I really recommend you probably should not waste your time here. Cool? Cool. Okay, so this means you've acknowledged that what you're doing is not working, at least to the degree that you don't want it to. So if I show you a new and different way of doing things, you need to go all in with it and not go back to making excuses. Does that make sense? Okay, let's get started then. The first adjustment you need is to your mindset, is to really determine your why or your what, okay? Like, why did you become a realtor in the first place? And answer that like on a piece of paper right now. Take a piece of paper out and go like, why did I become a realtor in the first place? Like, what do I really desire? And I asked this question to thousands of realtors over the last 5 years that I've been doing this national mentoring. And most of the responses I get are like, I want to help people. And that's awesome. But like, what people do you want to help? Like, the first person you need to help is yourself. And now I know that sounds selfish, but I'm going to get to why it isn't in a moment. The next people you should want to help is your family, your spouse, your son, your daughter, your parents, your brothers, sisters. They should all come before helping a stranger who wants to buy a bigger home, right? And what's the best way to help your family? Well, first, you want to be able to provide for them financially. Like, if your daughter needs braces, you shouldn't need to have a family discussion to figure out how to afford it. Does that make sense? Like, if your mom's got a TV on the fritz, you should be able to show up the next day at her door with a big screen 4K TV in the back seat for her. But your family needs more than your money. They need your time. And I would write that word down: time. And I know from experience, in my first year selling residential real estate, I earned a great income, $300,000 in commissions. My second year, $420,000. Money was not the problem. We had a great home with an amazing backyard, mile-long views in Chanhassen, Minnesota. I was driving the latest model Corvette, had the flashiest suits. Heck, you see me right now wearing one of my flashy suits back then. Pretty nice office space. Money wasn't a problem, okay? And from the outside, it looked like I had it all, like I was living the dream. But the reality is my marriage was on the brink of disaster. I was never home. And when I was home, I was on my phone. And if I wasn't on my phone, I was looking at my phone, hoping it would ring with the right news and not ring with the wrong news. You guys know what I'm talking about there? Type in the chat box if it's like, yeah, I'm on my phone all the time. And I'm just hoping it rings with good stuff. And I don't want it to ring with like, hey, you lost out on, the offer, right? And so I've been there financially for my family, right? But I wasn't there emotionally. And that's exactly why I had to create this CPS3, or what's known as the Complete Proven Simple Signature System. And my wife told me, hey, you got to find a different career. You got to find a different way to do this, or you just need to totally get out of residential real estate. And I was actually like most of you, like I became a realtor because I wanted to help people. And trust me, in selling over $25 million of residential real estate those first 2 years, I helped a lot of people buy homes. But I did it at the expense of my relationship with Katie and with my kids. And that's why I say if you want to help people, the first person you need to focus on is yourself and then your family. So let me get back to why focusing on yourself first is not selfish. So that first year I put this system into action, this is 17 years ago, I earned a little over 820,000 GCI. That's almost twice what I earned the previous year, but with a big difference. The previous year, guys, I was working 60, 80, 90-hour weeks. Katie, my bride, she usually went to bed without me. I was never home on the weekends. We didn't take a single vacation during that time. I was stressed. I was irritable, absolutely no fun to be around. And in some ways, as much as Katie said she wanted me home, come on, who's kidding who? The truth was she didn't like me very much when I was home. And then my first year doing CPS3, my hours dropped to 40 to 50 hours a week. I was home for dinner most every night. I stayed in with my family after that. I took most Sundays off. And oh my gosh, we took a 4-week long vacation that year. Type in the chat box what would it feel like for you guys to take a 4-week long vacation where you didn't have to deal with all the stress and worries of residential real estate? Like, how would that feel for you? So by creating a system that provided both time and financial freedom for myself, I was able to give so much more of everything to my family. Chad's another great example. Chad, before implementing CPS3, Chad was a typical 6-figure traditional realtor, right? He's making decent money, but he was like me. He was never home. When he was home, he wasn't present with his family. He said he had a continuous stress level of 8 or 9 out of 10. I get it. I've been there, done that. But now that he's implementing CPS3, he's averaging 30 hours per week of work. He doesn't work on Sundays. He's at home for dinner nearly every night with his family. He's always home to tuck his kids into bed. This year alone, they've already taken 6 vacations during COVID. And Chad now works about 40 out of 52 weeks a year and says his stress level has dropped to almost a 0 out of a 0 to 10 scale. But it goes deeper than that. Chad is super devoted to his church. Every week, he and his family volunteer their time to help there. He's pretty modest about it, but I know he makes some fairly sizable donations to both his church and his community. And he wouldn't be able to make those donations if the money wasn't there, okay? So my point is this. You first need to change your mindset, your heart set. If you got into real estate to help people, the best way to help the most people is to create both time and financial freedom for yourself. You need to own why you want to make an abundant amount of money in as few hours possible. And it's only when you accomplish this that you'll actually be able to help most people. right? So that's step one of the mindset homework. I want you to write down your why. Why did you become a realtor in the first place? And what are you going to have in place to make that happen? And that brings me to the second mindset problem most realtors face. What are you willing to do to accomplish your why? Like, are you prepared to go through a little bit of discomfort? Like during last week's mini CPS3 class, I asked who was doing social media for lead generation. And pretty much everybody said they were. And then I asked, well, who had achieved any results from this? Like actual tangible commission checks cashed. And not a single person on that call had any success with social media at all. So I showed everyone a strategy that they could implement instead. It's called my ultimate human strategy. It's 100% proven to work. I told everybody exactly what they need to do. I told them the letters they need to send, the videos they need to make. I told them exactly what to say during their phone calls. And you know, I don't have any way of proving this, but it's a week later, and I would bet $1,000 that if everybody who attended that mini CPS3 class, if I ask them today how they acquire leads, I bet you 90 to 95% of them would say social media. Like, how does that make any sense? These are the same people who said that social media wasn't working for them. So, like, why are they doing it? They're doing it because it's comfortable. Posting to social media makes them feel like they're working and doing something for their business. But here's the thing, as realtors, guys, we don't get paid a salary. We don't get paid for the hours we work. We get paid for the leads we attract and connect with, and ultimately for closings when we actually help a buyer close on a home or a seller close on their home. And these people who attended last week, they saw how to work with their ultimate humans. And I think deep down, they all know the strategy works. So why aren't they doing it? Well, they're not doing it because it takes them outside of their current comfort zone. They may have to spend $200 a month on mailings. And what if the letters don't work, right? Part of the ultimate human strategy is also to send videos. And a lot of people, they're not comfortable on camera. They don't know how to record a good video. They're worried about what to say. They don't know how to send videos. So they're going to have to learn some new skills to overcome those fears. They're going to have to experience some discomfort. And if their why, which is the first part of what we went over, is not strong enough of a motivator, then they'd rather stay with their current comfort zone and stay stuck in their failure. How many of you want to continue to stay stuck? I'm guessing none of you. Now listen, success does not come easy. It's impossible to succeed without some form of discomfort. And I know a few of you are thinking right now that you're willing to accept and endure some discomfort, but the thing is, it's like the ultimate human strategy won't work for you because maybe you don't know the right people, or you don't look good on video, or you don't have the $200 to spend on letters every month. Like, guys, that's excuses. Those are excuses that we talked about at the beginning of this class. So this is what so many realtors are doing now. They're just making excuses, and it's like they don't even know it. It's like they want to get into a room, but the door is locked. And when they turn the doorknob, they find that it's locked. But here's the thing, there's a keychain beside the door with a dozen keys on it and a bunch of people watching. And every time they try a key and it doesn't work, all the people boo and laugh at them. And so what do most realtors do? Well, they keep trying to turn the doorknob, hoping the next time they try, for some reason, the knob will miraculously turn. They know the solution is on the keychain, but they don't want to experience the discomfort of trying those keys. It's safer and more comfortable for them to simply continue doing what they've been doing, even if it means they're never going to get into the room. Does this make sense? And this is where your why comes back into the picture. Like, what is inside of the room that you actually want? If it's only $100, as much as $100 would be nice, it's really not worth the potential risk and ridicule, right? But what if your family was on the other side of the door that was in desperate need of your help? Like, how long then would you try twisting on the locked door handle? How many keys would you then use to open the door? How much would you care about those strangers that aren't accomplishing anything themselves, but still laughing at your attempts? Like, come on. I'm sure if you needed to get through that door bad enough, you'd work every key until it opened. This is your second piece of mindset and heart set homework. Ask yourself, what locked doorknob do you continue to twist? What have you done that hasn't worked, but you're still doing it today? And most likely you're going to do it tomorrow and next week and next month. Now, keep in mind that for a lot of realtors, what they have been doing and what they're currently doing is sometimes like nothing. In fact, I had one lady, she completed one of my surveys and said that, she wasn't currently doing anything to generate leads, but that her biggest problem she faced was the market. Like, this is so ridiculous, but it's really typical excuse making of traditional realtors. If the market was the problem, then no realtors would be achieving success right now. But Chad is on track for 400,000 this year, working only 40 weeks a year. And 1 month after implementing the system, Janet has run out of signs and lock boxes for all her new listings. So when you're writing down what locked doorknob you're still trying to turn, don't allow any excuses to justify the reason why you're doing so. And this brings us to the last mindset problem, which so many realtors today are struggling with. They are not treating their business like a business. Like, what if you had to apply for a small business loan to start your real estate career? What if you had to go to a bank and you had to ask for $100,000 and they asked to see your business plan? What if your business plan was to post on social media as much as possible and ask your friends and family if they knew anybody looking to buy, sell, refinance? Like, how long do you think it would take for the bank to reject your application? Of course, you don't need to apply for a small business loan to be a realtor, but that doesn't mean you don't need a business plan. First, you need to identify what your income goals are. Then you need to identify how those goals are going to be met. Like, how's it going to occur? So many homes, at what price point, how many you need to sell every month, how many buyers you need, how many sellers you need, how you're going to convert those folks into actually working with you, how many leads you're going to need to generate each week to convert to the necessary numbers of buyers and sellers, what strategies you're going to use to implement on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to attract those leads, what are the conversion rates of those strategies, so how much time and volume you need to spend on each. Like, think about it. If you had all those numbers and the strategies in place to fulfill them, what are the chances now of a bank approving your loan request? Like, way better, much better. Now, in the chat box, type yes or no if you have all those numbers written down and at the ready. It's okay if you don't. Most don't. Oh, Mark's part of the Freedom Club. Of course you do, Mark. I love it. Now, if you don't, it's pretty safe to say that you're actually treating your real estate career more like a hobby than a business. And just think about the power of knowing those numbers. Just think about what it would be like if you had a system in place that was guaranteed to deliver those numbers. Now, for those of you looking to work with a proven system, then I can understand how you might have some doubt or confusion. Like, if social media is your primary means of generating leads, then there's no way for you to say, like, every time I post 26 times on social media, I acquire a lead. Because social media isn't like a proven method of generating leads. There's no way to like measure or scale it. But one of my pieces of print media is called I Have a Buyer Letter. And I know that for every 150 that I send out, I get 1 to 2 phone calls from real people that actually want to sell. We know that using any of my 11 ways for generating cool premium leads, that every 16 leads will result in 8 initial consultations. And out of those 8 initial consultations, 2 to 4 of those will result in a buyer or seller wanting to work with you right there and on the spot. We know that working with just 2 families a month at a $300,000 price range where they're buying and selling a home, it's going to add $25,000 a month to your bank account. And we know that by following the Tuesday, Friday update call strategy, every buyer or seller we work with is going to bring us 1 to 2 more buyers and sellers on average. And that is how you run a business. It's run on numbers. It's predictable outcomes that are based on proven history. And this is the last piece of mindset homework. It's a bit bigger, but that's okay because you've already locked in your first 2 assignments. And you know your why of why you're doing all this. And you know that sometimes you're going to have to pass through a little bit of discomfort to get to where you want to be. So your homework is to write out your business plan. Like, how much annual income will you make selling how many homes, working with how many buyers and sellers? How are you going to generate those leads? What conversion ratios do you need to hit to make those numbers? Now, I understand your head may be spinning right now, and you may be struggling right now just to get the leads, the listings, the buyers. I get it. Working like a traditional realtor is super hard, and it's full of uncertainty. The business plan of most traditional realtors is just kind of like hustle and grind. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year. And then at the end of the year, they just hope that they've done enough to provide for their family and not have to get a job. But I don't want you to leave your business to chance. I can show you exactly how to schedule your day, your week, your month. I can show you 11 different proven ways of attracting and connecting with the leads that are buying and selling in the top 50% of your market's price point. I can show you my 10-minute initial consultation that will have over 30% of the leads you interact with wanting to work with you right there and on the spot. I can show you the exact formula for writing an offer that's going to get accepted, even in this market. I can show you exactly how to find homes for your buyers, even if the inventory is super low in the neighborhood you're targeting. And just think about that. What if you had the ability to do all that? What if you treated your business like a true business and presented yourself as a professional real estate consultant instead of just like a traditional realtor? Do you think with all this knowledge, with the tools and strategies, you could sell just 1 additional home per year? Like one home at a low price point at $200,000? Do you realize that would be a commission of like $6,000? Like, how much would you invest to make $6,000? I think most of us would be like more than happy to double our investment, right? Gosh, if we could pay $3,000 to make $6,000, that'd be pretty cool. Now keep in mind, I'm saying $6,000 is an absolute worst case scenario. That's a $200,000 home, and you just sell 1 of those and never another one again. The reality is with the CPS3, you're going to be representing buyers and sellers in the top 50% of your market's price point. And in most markets today, 300,000 is the low end of that 50% range. And using CPS3, working 30 to 50 hours a week, there's absolutely no reason for you not to be able to attract and connect with a minimum of 2 families per month. And when you follow CPS3 and my 1682 formula, working with homes in the $300,000 price range, you're actually going to be adding an additional $25,000 a month to your bank account. But you know, I don't like to talk to realtors using numbers like that, because before you dial into the right heart set, numbers like that seem almost like fairy tale-ish. And they're not. There's literally hundreds of realtors all over the USA and Canada that are implementing my system and getting those type of results. But let's get back to worst case scenario. Like, what if instead of $25,000 a month you started earning, you only did $6,000 a month? That's $72,000 a year. Would an additional $72,000 a year change your life? If so, how much would you be willing to invest to make that happen? Earlier, we said a 2-to-1 investment, right? So how would you feel about investing $3,000 to earn $72,000? That'd be pretty awesome, right? And you know what? That's what I used to charge for my in-person live events. I charge anywhere from $3,000 to $8,000. And it's really a no-brainer for those realtors that tend to come. And once you know what and you know how to get it, you won't let anything get in your way. But now I'm able to offer the same content, the same materials online. I don't have to get on a plane, book hotels, be away from my family, and you guys don't either. And that's why I can drastically reduce it from the typical $3,000 to $8,000. Now I'm able to help realtors all over North America for just $500 to attend the event. Think about that. If you attend this event and you sell only just one additional home per year for $200,000, that's a 12-to-1 return on investment. But honestly though, I don't want you even getting out of bed for a measly $6,000. And that's why I've created a guarantee that until you truly understand what the CPS3, you may think it's completely crazy. But I guarantee you at the end of the event, if you're not 100% confident that you can add $300,000 to your bank account within 12 months, I'll refund 100% of what you paid. Pretty simple. I know this, if you implement as little as 10% of the CPS3 system, you're gonna have no problem adding $25,000 a month to your bank account. But here's the thing, if you're with me live on this masterclass right now, I know that you want to change your life. And I know you want more structure in your business. So if you want all 11 ways of attracting cool premium leads, shopping in the top 50% of your market's price point, go to this website. It's www.profitsandpassionslive.com. www.profitsandpassionslive.com. Both are plural. And if you want all 11 of my ways for attracting cool premium leads, shopping in the top 50% of your market's price point, go to that website. Oop, looks like I typed the website in wrong. profitsandpassionslive.com. It's the second one that I typed into the chat box for your rock stars. And if you want, again, like I say, all 11 ways of attracting cool premium leads, shopping in the top 50% of your price point, go to that website. If you want my script for a 10-minute initial consultation that results in over 50% of your leads wanting to work with you right there and on the spot, go to that website, profitsandpassions.com. If you want the ability to find homes for your buyers in neighborhoods with low inventory, then go to that website, profitsandpassionslive.com. If you want to have the ability to write offers that will be accepted, then go to that website, profitsandpassionslive.com. If you want to remove the guesswork of what to do, what to say, when to say it, how to say it, and you want a complete, proven, simple signature system that's allowed me, a normal guy, to sell $424 million of residential real estate, then go to that website and click the link on that website and get signed up. Now, I know for some of you, $500 might be tough to invest, but if that's the case, then you're the ones who need this 2.5-day training the most. And as a professional real estate consultant, $500 should literally be pocket change. And I walk around with 5 $100 bills in my pocket most days. And there's a reason for that. When I'm working with my clients, there's a series of promises I make to them. And one example of promise is when I'm showing them a home, I promise that, hey, within 5 minutes, I'm going to ask you, do you want to buy it? And if I don't ask them within 5 minutes, I owe them $100 and I show them the $100 bills. Sometimes when I'm showing the home, the whole family's there and the kids ask, hey, do I get $100 too? Of course they do. If I don't ask the family within 5 minutes if they want to buy the home, every person there gets $100. That's why I walk around with 5 crisp $100 bills in my pocket. And that massively sets me apart from a traditional realtor. And I want you to have the same ability to do that. And ask yourself again, what is your why? Your why is right on the other side of the door. All you have to do is find the right key to open it. And I'm super confident that my CPS3 is the right key, that I'm backing it up with a $300,000 guarantee. Yeah, this is a live training, Alan. And this is where it comes back to heart set. Basically, what I'm saying is that after my 3-day event, I'm gonna have the faith that you can make it happen. I have the faith that you can do this. The question is, do you believe? But listen, only attend the event if you have the right heart set. Your why has to be big enough to motivate you. You're going to have to step outside your comfort zone. You're not going to post on Facebook 8 hours a day. You're not going to be cold calling FSBOs. You're not going to be cold calling expireds. You're not going to be circle prospecting. You're not going to be working on your website. You're going to have to treat your business like a business. And I'm going to teach you how to connect with humans with 11 different ways. I'm going to teach you how to create your weekly schedule. But once you've created, I'm going to teach you how to follow it. It's your business. It's not your hobby. Like, this is your responsibility. But if you treat your business as a professional, I promise you'll be compensated like a professional. So if your why is big enough and you're prepared to do what needs to be done, then click the link, get signed up for the 3-day event that's coming up. Okay, cool. I got the next few minutes, rock stars, where I am able to answer any questions you guys have. So fire away with questions. You can type them in the chat box, or probably type them in the chat box. I suppose I can bring you on screen. What are the class dates and times? Yeah, great question, Alan. What are the dates and times? Let me double check. October 26th, 27th, and 28th. 26th, 27th, and 28th of October. We start at 10 a.m. in the morning, East Coast time. We end at 7 p.m. East Coast time. The third day, we end at 2 o'clock East Coast time. It's 1% of your entire year to spend in these 3 days, really 2.5. So I guess it's less than 1% of your entire year to learn how to finally add substantial income to your bank account. Let's see what else we got. Yay, Karen, already signed up, can't wait. Bam. I'm gonna send you out some bonus videos too, Karen, when I connect with you. Mark, I'm excited. Yay! I think Mark's coming too. You've already signed up, Rockstar. Pumped to see you, Mark. Cool. Any other questions, rock stars, on the event, how it works, why you'd want to do it, why you wouldn't want to do it? I'd say this. One thing that I get asked a lot is like, what makes yours different? And I go, well, one, I'm an actual realtor. So I'm a realtor that's actually done this. And it's not like I've done it a little bit. I've done it in Minnesota, and I've done it in California and in Texas. So I've done it personally in 3 different states. And I've done pretty well at it. $424 million of residential real estate, right? So this is not guesswork. It's not theory. It's like proven. And I've taught hundreds of realtors on my real estate companies in Minnesota, California, and Texas, how to do it. And about 5 years ago, I started doing this nationally. And I've trained over 1,000 realtors nationally who are now doing this. Will it work if I'm just getting my license now? Yes. So Gene Riley came to one of these events when it was live and in person, paid the $3,000 to attend. You guys don't have to pay that much. It's only $500 for you guys to attend right now. And she came to the event within, I was going to say 3 weeks, but let's say within 5 weeks, she got her first listing, $1,350,000. Within a month, it went pending. She represented the buyer as well. She earned over a $60,000 check from her first person. Let's see here. Is your course good for a brand new agent? Yeah, like Gene Riley, rock and roll. It also works for realtors who've been around a long time. So Dan McGinnis, he's out of Arizona, been a realtor for 37 years. He put this into practice. He doubled his income. His work hours got cut in half. And he's like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have known this existed 37 years ago. And I'm like, well, Dan, I was like 13 years old then. So it didn't exist 37 years ago. Let's see, what else do we have for questions? How does the program work and what is the best benefits? Well, at the 3-day event, you're gonna learn how to add $300,000 of income to your bank account. So that's number one great benefit. Number two benefit is you're gonna be working 40 out of 52 weeks a year. So that means you get to take 12 weeks of vacation. Third benefit is when you do work those 40 weeks, it's gonna take you roughly 30 to 50 hours a week to do the work. Fourth benefit is to implement the system, it's gonna cost you a few $100s per month. So if you could invest a few $100s per month in sending out certain letters and things like that to earn $25,000 a month, and you're like, that seems like an amazing ROI, then yeah, you should definitely come to that event. You're gonna love it, Latrina. Okay, cool. Is your course good for brand new agent? Yes, for sure. Any way I can get you to push back the class? Asking because I'm in Hawaii. Oh, I love it, Alan. There's a number of people last event that were in Hawaii. And there's a bunch of people in my private mentoring program that are out of Hawaii. And unfortunately, yeah, it's those times. I'd say this too. One of the big benefits, like my mentoring program that I do, one of them is it's $100,000 per year. Like no joke, that's what people pay me. $100,000 per year. At this 3-day event, I give you the same information and you only got to pay $500 for it. So you get the same information that other realtors out there are paying $100,000 a year for. Thought you had an early bird special. Yeah, if you go to that website, profitsandpassionslive.com, it may be less than $500 right now. If it is, it's only there because this whole thing's limited to basically 100 realtors per event. Number one, because I want you to actually learn the information. Number two is I'm kind of an introvert by heart, as you might imagine by now. And I get a little like freaked out when the groups are too big. So if you go to that website, profitsandpassionslive.com, and it's less than $500, like click the button and do it, because it's going to $500 when, and I believe, I'm not techie, but I believe once it's 50 realtors have signed up for this event, then it's going to that $500. Let's see, I've been working on my real estate career for a while. Basically, I have no Ultimate Humans to Call. How do you suggest they start building my ultimate human list? By Rebecca. Love it, Rebecca. So there's 11 different ways. One is I teach you how to do open houses, but I teach you how to do them totally different so that you stand out from the crowd. I teach you how to go get a lender to send you $1 million of business a month. I teach you how to go get a national home builder that gets you $1 million of business a month. I teach you how to go get a custom home builder that sends you $1 million of business a month. And you don't need to know anybody in your marketplace for that. How is this different from ninja selling training? I have no clue. I don't know what ninja selling training is. Sounds like karate-ish or something. I guess I'm not into karate. I do have this piratey flag because this is the logo of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I really like Tom Brady. But yeah, I don't know about ninja selling. But I don't even know if I'd want to know about ninja selling. Like, we don't have the time for it, but I'm not into selling. In fact, I hate selling. Do any of you guys like love selling? And you wake up and you go like, hey, I want to sell people. Or do any of you guys wake up and go like, oh man, I can't wait for somebody to sell me something I don't want? Like, yuck, right? That's called like a used car salesperson. So instead, I help and serve people. And so if you want to learn how to help and serve people and actually like attract buyers and sellers to you, then Susan, like definitely get signed up for this. Let's see, is there an early bird special? Yeah, go to that website, profitsandpassionslive.com, but it may be gone. I don't know. Once it hits a certain number of people, then that is gone. How is your 100,000 mentoring better or different than other programs? Well, so what happens is step one is come to the 3-day event. You're going to learn how to add 300,000 of income to your bank account. Then I have a mentoring program, which some realtors choose to do. Once they've been in that for 2 years, then they have the option to move up to that $100,000 program if they desire to. Don't have to. But that $100,000 mentoring, that's like paid in full. So you can imagine the realtors that I mentor that do that, they start just like you guys. They start by coming to the 3-day event. They implement the stuff. They make some serious income. And then voila. Yeah, profitsandpassionslive.com. Hey, you need a Packer banner. I know, Mark. My dad's from Arcadia, Wisconsin, and he is the biggest, well, I shouldn't say the biggest Packer fan ever, because there's a lot of pretty vibrant Packer fans, but I'm going to go see my parents here at the end of this year, and I should take a photo of his basement, because yeah, it's Packerville in his basement. Awesome. What other questions do you rock stars have? Profitsandpassionslive.com. Which 11 is the best? I love the way I do open houses. Man, I just got off a phone call before this, and this is with, I co-own a real estate company in Texas, and this gentleman's been a realtor for less than 3 months, so less than 90 days. He's putting in the open house strategy. This last weekend, he just signed, so a $990,000 pending now, and then he's listing their $600,000 home. So 1.5 million times 3%, what is that? $45,000 commission. Yeah, like working in the top 50% of your market's price point, guys, that's going to totally change your world. And that's what this is. So most gurus or coaches, one, they've never done real estate, or if they did, it was like 20 years ago, right? So maybe that's what ninja selling is. Like, somebody got lucky, where it's like, no, I actually sell real estate. I've been doing it for 19 years. I have 3 real estate companies that I own. Those realtors do it. They get results. And it is a system. Does that make sense? And I know this scares some people. So like, if you guys don't want to follow a system, do not come to this event. In fact, you should probably opt out of everything that you get from me, because I'm going to drive you nutso. I'm a big believer in systems. I'm a big believer, and it's better for me to own a McDonald's than it is for me to own Jonathan Zabraki hamburger. Does that make sense? So that's a big question you have to answer for yourself. Like, do I want an actual system that works, or do I want to just like cow in the field that's kind of like just sitting there going moo? For me, I want a system that works. To me, that's rhinoceros. So yeah, that's what this is. And really, at this event, okay, I'm going to teach you how to add 300,000 of income to your bank account, but that's kind of a lie. I'm going to teach you how to add a little over $3.5 million of income to your bank account. So each one of the 11 ways has the ability to add 300,000 to you. So if you did all 11, that's $3.3 million of income to you per year. So what I teach you at the event is, hey, here's the 11. Now pick 1 or 2 to use and just focus on those. Focus on those like a rhino. Does that make sense? Versus like being just a cow. And to me, that's this easy, lucrative, and fun lifestyle versus having a lifestyle that's just kind of hard, it's arduous, it's kind of lame, and it's just like frustrating. Yeah, awesome. Any other questions, rock stars? Expired, any focus on it? No, not really. Not a big believer of expireds or FSBOs. You definitely could. It's not one of the 11 ways, but if it was, this is what I would do. I would get out a note card, and I would get out some $100 bills. And let's say in my area, I see 10 homes that are canceled or expired. And I go, man, I would like to list those homes. I would put $100 bill, real deal bill, into a card. And the card doesn't need to be branded. I can buy it at Target. And I get out a pen, and I would say in the note, hey, Fred and Cassandra, I see your home did not sell. That must stink. If you would like it to sell, give me a call. Jonathan, phone number 858-212-1245. I send those cards out. Yeah, Mark says, wow. Yeah, I send those cards out. I generally get 1 to 2 phone calls out of the 10 cards, and I get a listing. And I don't have to deal with, you guys ever hear of Vulcan 7? You don't have to deal with Vulcan 7 for like 22,000 hours of calling like, hey, I'm the 19th realtor to call you in the last hour. I know, Mark, it's going to change your world. This CPS3 event will change your world. It's one of the reasons it used to be $8,000 to attend. How many real estate investments, rock stars, have you ever heard of that's $8,000 to attend a 2.5-day event? Like, it doesn't exist. And the reason it used to be that is because, well, I mean, no offense, I make a lot of money doing residential real estate. So it's like really not worth my time to do an event if it's as cheap as it is. So take advantage of it being $500 right now, because I tell you, every time I do one of these virtual events, I'm like, this is redonkulous. Like $500 to learn how to make 300,000. What is that? That's a 600 to 1 return on investment. Like, where else does that happen? Will the change come from Puerto Rico? Yeah, I live in Puerto Rico and I live in Bozeman, Montana. So I live in two spots. In fact, that's one of my whys and my what's. Like, I got into residential real estate because I wanted to live in the Caribbean. And about 2.5 years ago, we moved out here to San Juan, Puerto Rico. And we're actually hopping on a plane this afternoon. We're flying to another island called Culebra. And Culebra is a tiny, tiny, tiny island off of Puerto Rico. And I don't know, we might buy our third home there. So we'll see. Cool. Trisha says, I'm skeptical. Well, so you invest $500. At the end of the third day, your option, it's either like, yeah, I learned how I can make 300,000, or I didn't see how I can make 300,000. And if it's like, I don't see that, Jonathan, you just email me and I go, oh, here's your $500. You keep all the material that I sent you, which is a lot of material. I'm just going to briefly show you, but you get this. This is a 151-page manual that goes over a lot of stuff. You get one of my examples of a postcard that I send out that gets results. You get what I use for my 12-page brochure. You get my exact listing presentation, my buyer presentation. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you probably got to get over your skepticalness. Oh, you see, I didn't read this as much. You're skeptical because they teach realtors their ways and then no real results. Yeah, well, maybe you might need to edit that, meaning like, I don't want to say the names because I'm not going to toss anybody under the bus, but have you ever heard of some people who have never sold real estate, but they tell realtors what to do? Like, type in the chat box if that's ever been a thing. Like, are there any people out there, you could name names if you want, and they've never sold real estate, yet they have thousands of realtors who are like, oh my gosh. Yeah, Tom Ferry's one. Nice guy, never sold a single home. Brian Buffini, nice guy, but 20 years ago, he sold Chula Vista, which is in San Diego. I lived in San Diego for 10 years. If you want to be in the roughest neighborhood across from Tijuana, sweet, go to Chula Vista and Imperial City. So yeah, Brian Buffini used to sell $90,000 crack houses, basically. I don't know what a crack house is. I don't do drugs, but he sold pretty rough houses. I'm teaching you how to sell homes in the top 50%, and it's not theory. It's not guesswork, and it's not something that I did like 20 years ago. I own a real estate company. Well, I started one from scratch in Minnesota, but where I taught realtors what to do. I sold that. I started a company in San Diego, same thing, sold that. And I now co-own a real estate company in Texas with two other gentlemen who actually, they were in your exact situation, guys, 3.5 years ago. And I remember Oliver was like, I am so skeptical. This won't work. And I said, Oliver, I don't know what to tell you. Like, come to the event. Like, it's guaranteed. Like, pay at that time, $3,000 to $8,000 to attend the event. Come, and if it doesn't do what I say it does, then at the end of the third day, you just let me know. I refund your money and we part as friends. And so he came and voila. Oh my gosh, his first year, when Oliver came, he had 0 leads. So yeah, he needed help right away. And his first 6 months after attending, he made 0 income. And the reason he made 0 income is because he was too smart, right? And he was just thinking. I said, Oliver, I want to buy you a shirt. It's going to be a Nike shirt, Nike logo. And what's Nike's logo? Or I guess not logo, but saying. Type in the chat box. What's Nike's what is it called? Slogan, saying? Yeah. So I said, Oliver, dude, we got to get over the information-itis, and we got to get you into like, just do it. Like, Oliver, the system works. Like, you can argue that it doesn't work, or you can just work it and then it'll work. It's kind of like McDonald's. If McDonald's got dropped into your town, Oliver, it would work. If Starbucks got dropped into your town, it would work. So how long, Oliver, do you want to just argue? Why don't you just implement? So anyway, his next 6 months he implemented. And wow, his next 6 months he implemented, and he implemented at only a fraction, right? But he did over $250,000 into his bank account. It was $267,000 exactly in 6 months. And then his first full year of doing this, it was a little over $1.1 million of GCI. And if you go to YouTube, if you go to Profits and Passions or Profits and Passions Live, you're going to see testimonial upon testimonial upon testimonial. I don't know, but I guess Oliver's on there. And maybe there's a video of him saying like, yeah, this thing works. And it works because it's getting back to being a human again. It's getting back to being relational with people, which is like, think of this. The word realtor, if you ended ship at the end of realtor, that's relationship, right? So what realtors have done is we do everything known to man except for create relationships with people. And so I teach people how to go back to being a kindergartner. Like, instead of texting all the time, let's call. Instead of doing social media, forget that. We're going to do this other thingy instead. And you're going to actually connect with people. You're going to actually build better relationships with people. And people are going to gladly pay your full commission. In fact, at the event, I teach you how to start charging a 7 to 8% commission on your listings. Like all day, every day. So yeah, it's up to you, I suppose, Trisha. But yeah, it's a different way of living. Cool. What else, rock stars? Any other questions on the event before we wrap up? All right, I'm a real human like you, right? I have days that are good, I have days that are bad. What's really awesome about this system is that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be an extrovert. You don't have to fill in all this stuff. You just got to do a few things, generally 1 to 3 hours of certain work a day. And when you do this 1 to 3 hours of certain work a day, your life is going to change. And adding 10, 20, 30,000 a month into your bank account, it's going to be as easy as like riding a bicycle. So go to profitsandpassionslive.com, save yourself some money, and get signed up before it goes to, I guess, the regular price of $500. So, all right, see you guys. Have a great day. Bye.